you will have heard from Mr. Smith that the idea is that we're going to have 2 weeks revision. So that's next week. So the first week of lockdown, and then the first week back at school, and then the week after that. So our second week back after we're back is not a mock. It's not supposed to be viewed as a mock. It's just an assessment of where we're at the moment. Okay, so Mrs. Miskin has put together a 2 40-minute 40-mark papers. Okay, and we will do those both during that second week back after half term, after not half term, once we're back. And we'll do those just in normal maths lessons. Okay, now the idea here is very much that we're not going to try and catch you out. This is to prove what you can do. Okay, so we're spoon feeding you quite a bit, and you'll see that that screen I'm sharing there, this has been put together by Mrs. Miskin. It's a list of the topics that are coming up on that 2-paper assessment. Okay, so I've attached that on Teams. So I would suggest you run this off on Teams and work your way through the topics. Okay, so so it's pretty specific, and the vast majority of the questions are here's the maths, go. All right, the idea isn't that you've got to read 6 pages of Shakespeare before you can actually get to showing off the maths you can do. All right, we're not trying to catch you out. This isn't trying to separate the very best of you from the second best of you. This is trying to give all of you an opportunity to demonstrate that you can get a high grade. And I know Mr. Smith keeps saying it, and it's true. This will just be the first of many. Okay, so if you didn't do very well in these, don't panic. There's still going to be. We're going to carry on with the Tuesday tests. Once we're back. Once this bit's out of the way, so there's going to be weekly opportunities to show how good you are. And I think you've got to view it now. This is teacher assessment grade, so I'm going to be looking for stuff to show how good you are. So obviously, if you have a bad week, I'm just going to ignore that one. But then you're going to have a good week and you go and get a 9 or something. Lo and behold, that's one I'm going to take into account. So it's in my. You've just got to start showing what you can do. Okay. Now, what I've also done, and I need to share and unshare, and I've done this really quickly, and I've literally just done this off Mrs. Miskin's list. I didn't want to be biased and having looked at the actual questions themselves. So I can't promise that the ones that I've gone and hooked out are going to be exactly similar to what crops up. But what I've done, I've just gone through Dr. Frost and hooked out a question or 2 on absolutely all those topics that are on this list. Okay, and I've you'll see that that's dropped on Dr. Frost. I uploaded that about an hour ago, and I've literally just gone through and done 1 or 2 questions working down that list. So what I suggest we do for today's lesson and the next couple of weeks, your priority should be to work through these 60 questions. Okay, so I think this should take priority over doing any further maths work, take priority over doing all those legacy papers we're working on. Okay, the one exception, I'm still keen that next Tuesday we do that Tuesday test 6. Okay, and obviously that it's revision, because obviously it's practicing questions, but it's obviously not targeted revision for these tests when we get back. But the reason I still want to do that is I've got to write some reports and some grades for you by Friday next week. And once you've done topic test 6, Tuesday test 6, 4, 5 and 6 together form another complete real life paper. So it's going to give me more really good evidence to base it on. So I hope you don't mind, but next Tuesday we're still going to do Tuesday test 6. As I said, it is revision because it's obviously practicing past paper questions. Some of them may or may not be similar to what come up on those on the list that I've just shown you, but I still want to do it anyway. Okay, so but all the other lessons next week, so last week of lockdown, and first week back, I think we should concentrate on the questions that I've just set you, these 60. And obviously, as you're working through, if you once you've finished it, if you've got some weak areas there, then I'll just hook out some more questions. So if you're rubbish at circle theory, we'll find some questions on circle theory and so on. So that's the plan. I'm going to keep recording because we haven't got 20 people here. We've got 18, which is excellent. But there's still a couple who might play the video back, and they would benefit from any questions you may have. So has anybody got any questions, not about the maths, not how do I do question 1, but about the logistics over the next couple of weeks? What I'm saying, does anybody want any clarification on what I've just said? Yes, Poppy.
So you said we're carrying with Tuesday tests when we get back.
Yes, but not that first week back when we're revising, and not the second week, back when you'll be doing all your tests for all your subjects. So it would be from the third week back, so pretty close to Easter.
So would those Tuesday tests that we start doing again later on in the year, would they count towards our final grade because we're at school?
It's all good positive evidence. So they will count in a positive way, Poppy. If you do some good ones, then they will count. Absolutely. And I've said this to you all along. Those for me should count more than the ones you've done in lockdown, because the ones you do once we're back sitting at a desk, I can honestly, hand on heart, say that you've done that without sort of chatting to your dad, who's a professor in maths or something.
Yeah.
So absolutely. And I think, and I said this to you guys on Parents' Evening, the more papers you do, the better, because we can look at the round, and so if you have the odd bad day, that we can just sort of write that one off. But it's giving you, I think, in a way, from your point of view, you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting loads of opportunities to demonstrate how good you can be, and we can turn a bit of a blind eye to, if you have the odd bad day, because the whole point is, and if you go and look on the government website and everything, it's supposed to not just be based on tests, it's supposed to be how well you are working in lessons. So that's sort of saying that you're looking for all the positives and you're sort of ignoring the negatives. Anyone else got any queries they just like to ask now? Ebs?
Will you taking the tests we've done in year 10 and stuff? No,
I don't see the point. I think there's really going to be, and the idea is we're trying to sort of replicate the real thing to a degree. And obviously anything we're doing now, all those Tuesday tests from 1 to 6 and anything we do when we go back, it is covering the whole of the syllabus. Whereas obviously the year 10 tests won't want to cover all the year 11 stuff. So we won't be going back. I mean, we're just looking for an overall picture. I've got your results going all the way back. But I just don't want you all just to feel pressured that one bad day, then suddenly that's going to be being highlighted. Because so in a way, I think, and so you should be given a break, because these have been miserable times to be a fifth former. It does slightly take the pressure off, because every year there's always 1 or 2 kids who just slightly let themselves down on exam day. They just panic or something, and we know they're better than that, but they've just panicked a bit. So that should be being taken out of the equation, because you'll be going to be tested a lot, so we can just hook out all the good ones. George?
Does that mean things like the check-in test won't count?
I wouldn't say won't count, but if you did a good check-in test, then it will count, because that so it's all the time we're going to I would imagine it's going to be, we're going to be sitting down and saying, right, can we find any evidence to give this kid a 9? And we say, oh, look, they did a really good check-in test. So there's, if we were ever challenged by Ofsted or whoever, why did I go and give George a 9? I say, well, look, he did a really good check-in test. That demonstrated how good he was. He did a really good topic test 5 and 6.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that's the way. So it's not like any. I think anything fifth form onwards, any times you've done really well, they'll be the ones we'd be highlighting on a spreadsheet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's not going to be the other way around, that we're going to say, oh, that topic test 2, George dropped to a 7 on that one, therefore we must be really cautious and only give him a 7. No, it's going to be the other way around. We're trying to give you every evidence to prove what level you can work at. Poppy, I don't know if you've got another question or whether your hand's still up.
Oh, sorry, that was still up.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so if obviously if you continue, if you think of anything, then carry on asking questions. But I'll stop the recording now. All right, so let's stop the recording, and I'm just going to